Niels, there's a new concept of the way to understand reality in terms of self-organization, that the aspects of the world are able to, by the basic principles and mechanisms that are built in, to organize themselves in complex ways. It would seem that these types of understandings take away from what theology has brought to an understanding of the cosmos.
Indeed, the idea of a self-organizing universe does not need a God in a scientific sense. And you can also argue that a sort of poor theology based on the deficiencies of the world to organize itself has become obsolete with the new concept of a self-organizing universe. I'm actually happy for both developments. But I don't think that this means that then there's no way to speak about God in this universe. First, you need to have the right conditions for a self-organizing world to start with. You need to have a fine-tuning of laws and in order for the capacities to evolve. This is one thing, which of course is very fundamental and metaphysical, and therefore is always very debatable. But I also think, and this is the second point, that it is actually not so much about self-organization per se, but it is about the fact that the universe has developed in such beautiful, multifarious ways as we actually see around us. So it's not just about keeping up a world, organizing itself in a tedious way. We live in a very interesting way. We live in a very interesting universe. And this interestingness is actually what captures, what gives which spurs the religious interpretation of reality. So in that sense, you need a God, both to have the background conditions for the self-organizing world. And you can argue that there can be a sort of cumulative argument for the ways that things actually have developed. But thirdly, if I may say so, then I would also argue that there's a high degree of congeniality with the religious assumption that we live, that the world is imbued, as it were, with a loving creator. And then that this loving creator also actually nurtures a universe which has these self-organizing characteristics. So in a sense, God said in the beginning, let it be, and also let it develop.
In a sense, then, you're reversing the traditional way people look at the natural things of the world, the so-called natural theology, to try to prove God or to show God's handiwork. You're rather saying the opposite. You're saying, look at the world the way it is, it works beautifully. But doesn't that reflect a God? So rather than trying to prove a God, you're saying, if I assume a God, does what we have here, this self-organizing, beautiful world that makes all the creative new things, does that reflect? And what could we learn about God from seeing this?
That's correct, and I think this is also based on the general view that religion is not based on science. Religion is actually based on a lot of experiences with the world. Personal experience, more general experience of beauty, of orderliness, of creativity, of surprise, of adventure, of urges. And this is actually what informs this is what gives us the reason to believe in the first place. But then, of course, we then go back, in a sense, and ask, what are the conditions for making such a universe? And I'm very happy to let the scientists take the lead. And I'm very happy myself as a theologian to follow in their footsteps when explaining this world.
And when you do, you find your own belief enriched or endangered?
I think in this case, definitely enriched. There might be other cases where also the progress of science might be actually a challenge to religion. And I think that one should be very open about this as a self-reflective believer. And first of all, it is the systematic nature of pain in the universe that has been revealed by evolutionary biology. I really think that this needs us to rethink what are our expectations of the universe. And actually, should we think that we live under a moral umbrella so that everything is just good and nice and swift in relation to our needs?
Well, it just isn't so. So to claim that is absurd.
It is, but this, in a sense, has been one of the ways of earlier theologies of providence, meaning that God has ordered everything so well that nothing, in a sense, is bad or can be bad. And I would rather take the view that the world actually hurts. It makes good and it hurts. In that sense, we live in an ambiguous world. And the religious view then is not to say, see how nice everything is, God has made it so. But the religious position that I take, and which is not just a position, but what I try to live on.
A true belief.
It is, well, I hope it's true at least, but I'm trying to say that this is my commitment in a sense. It is to say that even where life hurts, then nothing can take me apart from God. So that there is some sort of endurance and also of experiences of pain, of the cross, that has to be taken into our own religious mindset. And my hunch is that we, in a sense, have been like spoiled children in a children's warehouse for Playmobiles, where we think that we can tailor the universe to our needs. And I think, no, we are just very small agents in a very, very vast self-organizing universe, which is, on the one hand, beautiful, on the other hand, very, very hurtful to us.